Good morning. My name is J. David Nichols. You can just call me the Shaman. Welcome to Shaman at Large Ministry. The goal of the ministry is to educate people and to tell people about the world as we know it to be. That is, the self-realized truth that we all have is within us. The goal then is to help you find that path to the truth. I want to talk today about the concept of a Christian nation. More aptly, I would like to use the phrase, a godly nation. It has oftentimes been said in this country that the United States is a Christian nation. Well, if that is the case, then I believe there are a few things that we must understand about what it means to be Christian, or godly, as I choose to call it, and a nation. Let us then begin to evaluate ever so briefly, throughout a series of at least 4 sermons, the concept of godliness and nationhood as they are paired together. I'm not going to expend a great deal of energy deconstructing the term godly nation other than to make a few observations for this first morning. My first observation, which I make only with the intent of clarifying our situation as we begin this discussion, is that a nation is what we are as Americans. A nation, according to the dictionary, is a large body of people associated with a particular territory that is sufficiently conscious of its unity to seek or possess a government peculiarly its own. I want you to pay particularly close attention to the last part of that sentence. It states that our nation, as a result of our consciousness of each other as a community, consciousness of unity. I think that's one way you need to look at the word community. Consciousness of unity is what creates our government. This government, then, is the expression of us as a people within the geographically defined territory we call the United States. Now, I talk to a lot of people. Talk to a lot of people in my studies, talk to a lot of people in my life. And oftentimes when I've spoken to people about the state of affairs in our nation today and around the world, and the government in particular of the United States, they speak about us being the nation, as if it were something separate from them. I've asked many Christians, Jews, and Buddhists, and Muslims, people of all stripes, all different faiths. And in response to the question, what is your relationship to your government and to your nation? I'm awfully frequently treated with a refrain that came from the book of Matthew, wherein Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's." Matthew chapter 22, verse 21. This response usually comes up when a Christian or any person of any faith system is faced with the uncomfortable fact that the government or the law requires unpleasant outcomes, that things must be done by the government in their name, and that's just the way it is. It is certainly used as an excuse to divorce oneself from the actions of the government. Now, this is certainly true when Jesus said it originally. I mean, no one really wants to pay taxes. Hello, who does? Beyond this, though, many Christians seek to use this verse as a shield, and many other faith systems use similar concepts as it relates to their relationships as individuals with the government as a shield to disown themselves or divorce themselves from their responsibility. This protects them from culpability for the acts that their nation makes. And that is the desired goal. And that is the way in which this particular verse of Scripture is used by so many people. Or the concept is used by so many people of so many different faith structures. Now, no doubt, when Jesus first made this statement, the government of Caesar was separate, far and away, literally in Rome, far and away from the Jews. The government that they experienced was the rule of Caesar, not their own. So naturally it was alien to them, something unto which you had to pay your taxes. It was not really much more. The Jews certainly didn't have a say in their own governance, since Rome was for all intent and purposes an occupying power. This alienation and humiliation invariably made the Jews of the time hostile to their government. In the historical context, the sentiment makes sense. After all, what loyalty does one owe to an occupying force, after all? You don't need to look much further than modern-day examples where we have occupying forces amongst a nation of people to learn and understand the true sentiment that one would feel to a government and a seat of power far away from you, distantly removed, unto which you paid your taxes, unto which controlled every aspect of your life, even though you had no say in that. I think we can understand what that feels like, uniquely as Americans, to have no say in a government that is far and away, across the ocean, in Parliament, in London, making decisions for the colonists, without any colonists representing there.